Hello, reporter room investigators. Come on in, come on in. My name is Jessica Della Davies. I'm an investigative journalist. My job is to investigate crime scenes, potential suspects, and evidence, and share with you how to do the same thing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Like, give this a big thumbs up, share this on your socials, and come on in, come on in. We have a lot of stuff to dig into. Everything I'm sharing with you is my opinion, and opinions are not facts. So please don't send any negativity to anyone. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave me a comment in the comments below. Thank you to our subscribers, our mods, and our channel members. Our channel members are the ones with the blue, green, and red verified check mark. So, trigger warning, Sebastian Rogers, we have Narked Divers Quitting. What is going on? We have Seth Rogers' latest statement. Seth Rogers' private investigator's latest statement. We're going to talk about Nina Gomez, who is Chris Proudfoot's, I think, third or fourth wife, and a lot of more stuff. So come on in, you guys. Please share this on your socials. So is anyone getting the sense that Chris Proudfoot is maybe a little bit manipulative, maybe a little bit narcissistic? And I'm going to talk about a little bit the Nina Gomez interview. I'm not going to share it because I think a lot of you guys have already seen it, but she's one of multiple ex-spouses, and I don't know if you know what number wife she is, if she's 3 or 4 or 5, let me know in the comment section below. I just know that he's had multiple spouses. So a lot of people feel like Katie is hiding something. I don't know if she is or isn't, but I did find a lot of interesting information online for you guys. So come on in, please share this on your socials. And I just want to just to have you guys come on in. I'm just going a little bit early today. All right, so let me move myself out of the way. We have so much stuff to dig into. I have multiple packages, a lot of information, and after this, I'm going to go right into the Riley strain.
You wake up every day angry.
Sebastian, he is...
like to say to whoever has my children that they please.
We just told me that he...
functioning autistic.
happy and alive.
Wherever you are, just know that we are not going to stop.
This is Reporter Room with Jessica Della Davies.
Okay, so I've got my little disclaimer up there. All right, so look at this, you guys. Let me back this up so you can see it. So Katie Proudfoot told us that Sebastian doesn't have access to online, but I think this is really interesting. This is from the National FFA organization. It's an agricultural educational student. And this certificate certifies that Sebastian Rogers got his FFA green hand degree. And this was given on December 14th of 2023. So this makes me wonder, is it possible that he did have access to online, and did somebody become fixated on Sebastian through that? So come on in, let me say hello to chat, and then tell me where you're from, you guys. Hi, Maria. Good to see you guys. Tell me where you're from, and yay, I'm glad you're here too, Karen. That's okay. Fourth wife. Okay, thanks, Joan. Thank you, James. Thank you, Brother Mike. So if you see the wrenches, like Brother Mike, these are our and Mama Bear, these are our moderators. And then this is Enja, she's one of our head moderators. And then our check marks, like this one, James is our channel members. So come on in, you guys. We have so much stuff to dig into. Narked Divers Quit, you guys. And I'm going to share that with you too, because they put out a statement. I was just like gobsmacked when I saw it. So Texas is in the house. The UK, oh my gosh. Then this is our other head mod. This is 6 Cents Amelia. And then our third head mod, I haven't seen her yet, but I am going just a few minutes early because we just have so much to dig into. And I have the Riley strain case. I'm going to do that in a separate video right after this one, you guys. Good to see you. Hi, Njaz. Okay, hi, Kimmy. All right, so come on in, you guys. Please share this on your socials because, and let me just go ahead and share with you. Okay, so this is the first thing I wanted to share was this certificate. So this to me shows that Seth did have access to online. So all of this, brouhaha that he didn't have access to online. Well, it looks like at some point he did. So was this supervised access online or he wasn't online at all? What do you guys think? But this certainly seems like something that he was awarded. And that certainly shows to me that he was online before. So those are the receipts for that. So I also have wondered if he was online more at Seth's house, because we know he didn't have the same level of supervision. So I believe Katie is hiding something. I just don't know what it is. But I did, when I found this online, and to me, it just showed that Seth did go online. So maybe it's just that he was supposed to be supervised and he wasn't. I mean, he plays chess. He was high functioning autistic. So, maybe he did have access or figure out how to get access to online. So did somebody become fixated and lure him out of the house that day? So, so maybe the only thing that Katie is hiding is the fact that Sebastian has not been allowed online or snuck online. And maybe law enforcement told her not to tell us. Remember, they're trying to track down an abductor. They're not going to let us know. And they're going to encourage her not to say anything to us either. What do you think? Is it possible that the only thing Katie's hiding is the fact that Sebastian went online? But we have so much more stuff to dig into. Let me show you some more stuff. Let's go through all of it. I have 1, 2, 3. Besides this video, I have multiple packages. Okay, so let me just slide this forward. There's our favorite little man. Okay, so this is a statement from Chris Proudfoot. So he is confirming that dogs had a scent that led to the construction site, because we've had a lot of people that, was there a scent for the dogs? There wasn't a scent for the dogs. And I think what happened here was that we just have multiple search. We did, but more quit today. More quit amid threats. So we're going to dig into that in just a second. So Chris says that he's confirming that the dogs had a scent that led to the construction site. No signs or evidence reveal Sebastian was there. So they had a scent that led to the construction site, but nothing further about Sebastian. Keep in mind that dog tracking isn't as credible as you think. The idea that someone hurt Sebastian and threw him into a wet, fresh paved driveway is funny. Did he proof this before I would have taken this down. To bury, I'm going to watch my words, in concrete would need to be at least 12 inches thick. Sadly, you have to smooth out the concrete and finish it before it's dried. All of this is done while the concrete is poured and being set. Okay, that's just really in bad taste. I don't even know I don't know. That's horrible. That he's I don't know. There's something wrong with these people. I'm sorry. I know he's probably getting asked this, so he's probably just answering the question, but it just feels so cold and clinical. I don't know. Okay, so that's the latest from Chris Proudfoot. I just thought that was interesting. I got more stuff to share with you. There's a lot of new stuff to share with you. Let me go through. Okay, this is from Chris Busby. Now, this is talking about the Narked Divers Quit. Quote, due to misinformation and safety concerns, me and my YouTube friends CJ and Narked Divers will no longer be searching for Sebastian Rogers. So this is another. First, we had the United Cajun Navy quit. We've had so many people quit. And it says all leads from this point should be sent to the private investigator. And I have a new statement from them as well, or law enforcement. Sorry, but our safety has to come first. You guys, what is going on in Hendersonville that searchers don't feel safe? I have never heard about this in any other case where searchers have gone out. Excuse me, those of you that know me, I know I'm recovering from a chest infection, so my throat is sore. So those of you that have been on this case from the beginning, you know that this is multiple searchers who have quit. So why is Narked Diver and CJ both quitting, and their safety has to come first? What are people doing? Are they being intimidated when they're trying to search? And if so, who is intimidating them? Is there somebody who doesn't want Sebastian found? I don't know, you guys. I think it's really, really crazy. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Yeah, lower caps, guys. Let's keep it classy in the chat. Lower caps, and just, it's okay to share your opinion, whatever that may be. I know, and we've already every time I go live with this, I immediately get demonetized. So this, if you guys could share this on your socials to help get it out, I would really appreciate it, because I do have a lot of good breaking information, and I don't know why I keep getting demonetized every time I try to cover this case, because I think I'm covering it very responsibly. So I don't know what's going on and why people are not feeling safe to search for Sebastian. It's really, really sad. Let's see let's see. Karen says, yesterday a live creator was being followed by a vehicle. A Sunday or two ago, another creator was live with shots heard around him next to the Beach High School. A creator was being followed by a guy. Wow, that's really scary. Sue says, CJ is the CP threatened to stay off of his property. So that's the content creator that got the notice from Chris Proudfoot when he was going to search to stay off the property. So is something more going on? Because now all of a sudden they're scared to help search. This is absolutely bonkers, because everybody should want everybody to search for Sebastian, right? Absolutely bonkers. Almost made it says, why is everyone backing out? Somebody is doing it. Yeah, keep it lower caps, guys. Keep it classy. It is sad, Mary Jury. Maria says those people need to be, yeah, I agree. It's not okay. Meme says there's too many stories from too many sources, all contradicting each other. DM says, wow, is this from today? Yeah, it's from today. I have some more stuff from today too, you guys. Sue says it was on his channel. Very sad. Yeah, please give this a thumbs up to let YouTube know that we are covering this case responsibly. Maria says the Proudfoots don't want Sebastian found, in my opinion. Almost made it said there's something deeper going on in the background. Yeah, I do. I think there is something else going on here. There's something sketchy going on here. I agree. Mama Bear thinks Chris seems like a very cold person. No empathy. Just the way he talked about the cement thing was weird. Like, why would you put that out there? Thank you for sharing it on Facebook, Mia. Yeah, please share it. Help me get it out. Thank you for your super sticker. For everybody who says YouTubers get so wealthy from YouTube. Not true crime. And certainly not smaller channels like mine. But I am a journalist. And I do cover responsibly. So thank you so much for this, Mike. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate your kindness and generosity. Karen says, I only see the Proudfoots as having connections, not wanting the searching. Seems at certain locations, Chris Proudfoot starts up about stuff. Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing. Like, who is bothering CJ and Narked Divers? I mean, I can't even imagine. Narked Divers has done nothing but try to help. Thank you so much, Brother Mike. All right, Marjorie said, there's still, yeah, guys, watch your words in the chat, okay? I got to take this one down, Marjorie. It's not personal. It's just, please don't put stuff like that in the chat, okay? Watch your words, guys. Want to keep it family friendly. James says all of these searchers had ties to Ronnie And the brothers underground, I wonder if that might have something to do with it. I don't know, James. The cat's life says, I'm here. Good. I'm glad you're here. Proudfoots agree. Thank you so much to our mods and to our head mod and Jazz and Sixth Sense Amelia. And I don't see Jane in here. Betty says, who feels like Sebastian could be right in that same neighborhood with someone undetected? There are large houses and immediate searches surely did not go on inside every room of every house. Yeah, I think if the house is vacant and then we do have new construction in the area, so it's very possible he could have gone into a newly constructed house, although I would think law enforcement would have searched those. Juno says there was an RSO trying to search also. He forgot to tell everyone. Oh, okay. But that doesn't have anything to do with this group. So are people just getting confused and just lumping everyone together? I don't get it. Because Narked Diver, he's a wholesome, good guy from everything I can tell. Never heard anything negative about him or CJ. They both seem like good people. DM says today is a turning point for me. Which organization is Chris Busby with? I don't know. I don't know who Chris Busby is. Scout says Trey from Narked went live one night about him. Wow. And Karen says, all I know is the creators aren't making much of anything because I literally was watching and hearing it happen. It was very distracting from their purpose. Tracy said they were both in the service. Wow. So really good people who have served our country and they have to pull out of the search because of something like this. This is crazy. DM says, has Narked Divers ever said this prior to today? No, but we heard a similar thing from United Cajun Navy and everybody poo-pooed them. And I even thought, who would bother them? Like it just sounded weird. But now I'm starting to think, you know what? I believe them. There's something wrong. Joanne says they were getting a lot of heat because of that Ronnie guy. Oh, okay. Well, that's too bad because I hear this too. And everybody should want everybody out searching. Everybody should want every YouTube content creator to put out content on this to get Sebastian's name and face out there. Everybody should want to help out as best that they can. All right, well, let's keep digging into stuff because that's not the I have multiple new things to share with you guys today. This is just getting started. Please share this on your socials because as I shared with you, this immediately got demonetized as soon as I went live. Okay, so I'm going to come back to this. Let me just take this down for a second. And let me bring this up. So we also have a new statement from the investigators on this. These are the private investigators that were hired by Seth. Let me just make sure I'm sharing with you what I think I am. Yep. Okay. So they post mostly under Justice Warrior Investigations on Facebook. And this is the update from today. Tracy and I have been working the Sebastian Rogers case for a couple of weeks now. And I must say we hit the ground running. Parentheses, we had a lot of, quote, catching up to do. End parentheses. Again, I want to say that we appreciate every lead. So thank you to everyone who has sent us information. As we say in every case we work, please don't hesitate to call or message us with information. You may think it's nothing, but we won't know until we've had an opportunity to check it out. Obviously, I cannot share information that we haven't eliminated yet, but I can tell you that some of the things that we have personally ruled out, not to be confused with law enforcement's investigation and what they have or haven't ruled out. Number one, the SO that lives within a mile of Stafford is no longer a POI in my investigation. I interviewed him, got his alibi, and validated his alibi thoroughly. Okay, so that was somebody called in a tip about an SO that lived within a mile of Sebastian. So his alibi has been confirmed. He did not do it. Number two, I can tell you for a fact that Chris Proudfoot was accounted for corrected at the RV park on Sunday evening and was on the job at 5:15 a.m. on the morning that Sebastian was reported missing. That's a rock solid alibi. So Chris Proudfoot is ruled out. So he has been ruled out by Seth Rogers private investigators. 3. We did follow up on the lead regarding Republic dumpsters being dumped at the Gallatin landfill that was caught on fire. This is false. The dumpsters were dumped at AAA in Nashville. Also, I was able to confirm with law enforcement that those dumpsters were checked thoroughly in the early morning hours of February the 26th. So that's followed up, done, and dusted. Okay, so that's 3 big major things. And then this is Heather from the Private Minister. She says, many of you have questioned what we, that's Chloe, DXM, myself, and our team, and what we are and have been doing. I cannot share with you in detail, and I'm sorry for that. However, I promise you that we are working very hard to find Sebastian and to get to the bottom of what happened to him. I will provide more updates when I have something that can be shared. This isn't a 9 to 5 for us. It's a 24/7. Thank you all for your help. Respectfully, Heather. And then she has a little post underneath this. What we have confirmed might not be the popular consensus. However, it is what it is. Heather has posted what is safe to post, trying to poke holes in it won't change the facts. Okay, so I think that's really helpful to know that the big takeaways out of that is that the SO has an alibi. We already know that Seth Rogers also has an alibi. He was working overnight at the Davidson prison. So he was working all night, and he was not even in the state of Tennessee at the time. So there's no way that Seth Rogers did this. So he's also has a rock solid alibi. And now we know that Chris Proudfoot also has a rock solid alibi. So we can rule him out. He was at the RV park on Sunday night and on the job at 5:15 a.m. on the morning Sebastian was reported missing. So there's no way that he was involved. So rock solid alibi, 1, 2, and 3. All right, let me grab the next one. Okay, so Seth Rogers has spoken out. And I'm going to share that with you. Let me check in with chat, you guys. Come on in. Please share this on your socials. We got demonetized as soon as I went live. I think I'm going to start streaming this on other platforms in addition to YouTube, just because I do keep getting demonetized when I'm trying to cover this case. And I want to get I want to get Sebastian's name out to the public. And it makes it really hard to do that when I'm constantly getting demonetized. So we're gonna dig into. We're gonna watch an interview that Vinny Politan did with Seth Rogers, and then we're going to deep dive into what was it like for Sebastian in the Proudfoot home, and maybe being stuck in between parents that were not getting along. So anyway, I feel really badly for CJ and Narked Divers. They did not deserve any of that, whatever heat they got. And this is why I just wanted to go live and talk about this. I believe the sheriff's office is involved. Good, Tracy. I'm glad to hear it. Hey, Joan. Eileen says, I believe Katie is responsible for Sebastian going missing. I believe they are keeping to themselves because she is losing her sanity and Chris is trying to keep her calm and sane. I don't know. It could just be something benign. Like, I'll share with you like a scenario of that it may not be what people are speculating that it is. It may be more benign to that. So I did go through Nina Gomez's story, and considering the way that now I'm going to take the Nina Gomez story with a little bit of pinch of salt, because there, obviously is a lot of, negativity between her and Chris Proudfoot. But I still think I do still believe Nina. So I think that Sebastian having autism would have made him more vulnerable. And I'm just wondering what it was like to be in the house with Chris Proudfoot when, according to Nina and what she shared with us, it seems like he's easily angered and also very manipulative. Unfortunately, the one adult who could have protected Sebastian was Katie Proudfoot. And even we're watching her behavior after this, and her, she's not in the state now. I guess she went back to the campground, wherever that is in Mississippi somewhere. But it's weird that she's, you know, I just wonder if as she's just doesn't seem like she's a strong person when it comes to Sebastian. She's not advocating for him the way I think a lot of us expected her to. So I'm just wondering if when it came down to Chris Proudfoot and Seth Rogers, and we know Sebastian was supposed to be turned over to Seth Rogers that summer, I'm wondering how Sebastian felt about Chris Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot, and the fact that he had kind of was stuck in the middle, right? Because he's getting basically his custody over to his dad, and maybe he felt good about it, but at the same time he had to know from listening to Katie's conversations with Chris Proudfoot that also that they were maybe going to adopt Faith. So how did this make Sebastian feel? Is this some of the guilt that we're seeing from Katie? And maybe it's not what we all thought it was. Is it just simply that Katie's feeling guilty because there was some kind of an argument? Did Sebastian overhear her and Chris talking about getting custody of Faith at which I hope the courts do what's in Faith's best interest, because it doesn't sound like Chris Proudfoot even wanted her. So I don't know why he wants her now, except maybe it's a control thing. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But did he overhear something and just kind of internalize this feeling of, well, they're giving me away and they're, bringing in Faith, and I'm, what did he overhear? And is this some of the guilt that we're seeing from Katie? Because it's really common for people with autism not to like to change. Routines are comforting to many people with autism, and April is Autism Awareness Month. So this would have been a big change, right? It would have been a change of school, a change of household, a change of state. So would this have caused Sebastian additional stress? And did he try to run away? But then I just keep going back to, if he did run away, why didn't he bring his shoes, a coat, and his cell phone? So was there some kind of an argument about that? And he slammed out of the house and said, I'm running away. And Katie's like, that's fine, go ahead. Not thinking that he would. And then he did. And when she, went to go look for him at 6 a.m. in the morning, he was gone. So I'm going to talk more about Nina Gomez and Chris Proudfoot in just a second. But we have a lot of information. Let me check in with chat, and then we're going to dig into this. So thank you for that, Eileen. I appreciate your input. I really do. Marjorie thinks it's possible. Hey, Juno. Juno says it was one of the BUR check out Illinois. Thanks for that. Karen says, I agree with both your comments. Thank you, Anjas. Thank you, Jody. Good to see you, Jody. Wise Gal said, Narked made a live about it the other night. Yeah, I saw that. It was very short, and I feel so badly for CJ and Narked Divers. All they wanted to do was help, and all of us should want all hands on deck to find Sebastian, because I still believe we can have a positive outcome for Sebastian. Yes, I know he's been gone almost 2 months, but we have had kids with autism survive in wilderness situations, as I shared with you in the last live stream, for longer than this. So it is very possible. Micro Kimmy says, I have a gut feeling Chris and Katie know something that no one else does at the minimum. Yeah, and I'm wondering if it's not what everybody was thinking, especially now that we know that Chris Proudfoot's alibi has been confirmed. Was it something more benign, something that may have felt benign to them if they were talking about, getting custody of Faith or something like that, and Sebastian's, hearing that he's going to his dad's house and they're bringing in Faith? Did he feel unwanted? Did he feel unloved? Did he feel anxiety about this? And did this cause some kind of an altercation an argument in the house that night? Welcome to everybody coming into chat. Please share this on your socials. As I shared with you, this got demonetized as soon as I went live with it, which is, everybody always says, oh, YouTubers just want to do it for the money. It's not in true crime. A lot of our stuff does get demonetized as soon as we start. I am doing this. This is a passion project for me. And I'm also going to follow this up today with a Riley strain update also. Again, another just passion project for me. So anyway, Joanne says CJ was out searching with Ronnie. Yeah. Okay. So, but yeah. So somehow he got lumped in with the somebody and he didn't probably know. Just because you're searching with somebody doesn't mean you know all their. I don't like. We're not background checking everybody that's searching. So I feel so bad that they have don't feel like they can continue because they were doing great work. Sherry says I absolutely don't think that Sebastian was lured out by a stranger. I still think Katie lost her temper with him. I don't know. I think Chris was in town. No, he has an alibi. I just shared it. He was not in town. He was not in town. He has a rock solid alibi. Remind me, and I'll show it to you guys again in case you came in late. Chris has an alibi. I'm going to show it to you. And just as all opinions are welcome, just please respectful. Yeah, no all caps, and watch your words, guys. RSO shouldn't be out looking for missing kids. I agree. It just doesn't have anything to do with CJ or Narked. That's what makes me feel sad. DM says, is anyone looking for Sebastian today? If so, where are they looking? Well, we know the private investigators are on it. I just shared the statement from them. Marjorie said, I think there's someone trying to mislead the search. I'm wondering the same thing. And I wonder why. Juna says, Seth is looking and has a search team. He will not give location because of, oh my gosh, what is going? I have never heard about this in a missing persons case where the searchers are getting this kind of treatment. This is beyond the pale. Everybody should want everybody to be all hands on deck. Everybody should be wanting all the YouTubers, all the TikTok, everybody to get this young man's face and story out there, so we can find him. Because I feel like we've had autistic kids survive in the wilderness for longer than this. So I still feel like we can have a really positive outcome if we all work together. Sherry said the Proudfoots know what happened to Sebastian and where he's at. Hey, Olwyn, great to see you. Karen says, you could be very right about that. Something is really off. Katie Proudfoot won't converse with Seth about their missing child. You can hate your ex, but the law is there and you need to talk. Yeah, so let's dig into that. Because he did an interview, and some of you may have seen it, and some of
Another
you
child
might not
was
have.
reported missing. Sebastian Rogers.
Hold on, let me get this up so y'all can see it. Just trying to make it bigger. There. Okay. I have to move over the music. And
there is no evidence to support foul play is involved in the disappearance of Sebastian.
But at this point, you don't rule it out?
We're not ruling anything out.
Okay. Same date that Madeline Soto went missing, February 26th, Sebastian Rogers was reported missing. He's a 15-year-old. Take a look at his picture, please, folks. That's the important part here. A 15-year-old with autism, last seen at home in Hendersonville, Tennessee. That's near Nashville. His mother, Katie Proudfoot, discovered he was missing from his room. Around 6 o'clock in the morning is when she says he went missing. There's like no evidence of anything here. So please take a look at the picture. Go on your social media and find a picture of him and share it, because we've got to share this everywhere. Important note also, April 26th at 7:30 will be Light the Path for Sebastian.
okay, so mark your calendars. I will be posting this into my Facebook room. If you type in Reporter Room and Sebastian Rogers, my Facebook room will have it. I'll be posting the live stream in there. I won't be live streaming it on my channel, but I will be posting it. So it's April 26th at 7:30 Eastern time. And it's Light the Path. So they're going to light the path with green lights. And Seth said he wanted to get like a Batman light. He didn't get that, but it's the 2 months to the day and we're going to come together. So that's tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. They're going to bring light to darkness, illuminate Sebastian's safe path home, and show our unwavering support for his family. The bridge will be lit up in Sebastian's favorite color, which is green. And if you can't, if you don't, obviously, if you're in town, you can go there and watch. But if not, I'll stream it into my Facebook group. And if you can't do that, maybe you can just share green hearts tomorrow for Sebastian. So they're going to do seconds of silence mirroring the duration and the date of his disappearance. So that's February. So that's 2. And then the 26th is February 26th. Standing together in silent prayer, we hope to hear words of guidance, strength, and demonstrate the solidarity of our community and to ask God to lead us to Sebastian. And then there's a beautiful quote here. It says, "Let all that I am wait quietly before God, for my hope is in him." So that's tomorrow, April 26th at 7:30 p.m.
Memorial Park in Hendersonville. It's on Main Street. The bridge will be lit up in Sebastian's favorite color, which is green. And joining us right now, special guest, Sebastian's dad, Seth Rogers, is back with us. Seth, thanks for coming on tonight. Let's start with what we're looking at here, Light the Path. Give us a little more information about it, what it's about, and I want to know why green was or is Sebastian's favorite color.
He just likes green. It's been his favorite color for as long as, one of the first things, conversations is like, what's your favorite color? And he chose green.
So you guys, let's drop green hearts in honor of Sebastian today and tomorrow.
And has stuck with it. So for the last, 12 years, it's always been green with him. So hopefully we can light the path in green, and they wouldn't let me get a Batman signal. So we'll just go ahead and use glow sticks and light bags, and it'll be 2 months.
2 months. That's 2 months is too long. I mean, two hours is too long to have a child missing.
I think it's so sweet that Seth wanted to get a Batman signal for Sebastian. I just think that Sebastian would love that.
Another announcement that I saw you made is that you are now working with Chris and Katie. Chris, his stepfather, and Katie, his mom. So all of you are now putting aside your differences and working together?
Chris approached me at the vigil last weekend and asked if, we could drop our egos and work together to find Sebastian.
So for those of you that did not go to the prayer vigil, there was like some kind of a heated exchange between Seth and Chris Proudfoot. I shared the image of it in the last live stream that I did for Sebastian. And somehow they decided they were going to work together. But I don't know if Katie and Chris are really helping. It seems like Seth is doing everything. Listen to this.
And I told him as long as he's willing to help, I'll take any of the help I can get. My ego is not enough to stop me from accepting help to try to find my son.
And how is that developed? Is the help there from Chris and Katie?
I've been sending Chris and Katie emails for things that I already have in the works. I'm currently waiting on Chris to approve.
Why does Chris get to approve? Chris is not the biological father. Seth, if you are watching this, Seth, just do what you need to do for Sebastian and forget about Chris. Just forget about him. Do what you need to do. You don't need his approval for anything. You are doing a lot of good things. I've got private investigators you've hired. You've used that GoFundMe. You put it to good use. You've used it for smart things. You've done a great job of getting Sebastian's name all over the internet. You've gone on multiple social media channels. So just keep doing what you're doing. You are doing a great job.
What I've sent to him, if he doesn't approve it, then,
What type of things are we talking about?
I've got a canine handler that is extremely overqualified, has several different background clearances, classifications. Their dogs are everything from cadaver to narcotics to live tracking, bomb sniffing. The dogs are exquisitely trained.
This is great news, because what they need to do is go back in and start from the inside and work back out. Because I think that it's very possible that if Sebastian did get into some kind of an argument or dispute with Katie, and Chris was on the phone egging her on, which is what a lot of people think has happened. I'm not saying that is what happened. That's just my theory. So speculation warning. But if that is what happened and he wandered off, or if he was online, like I showed you guys the receipts a few minutes ago, that proves that he was online. If somebody lured him away, then these dogs can help find him. If somebody kidnapped him or removed him from the house, these dogs can help locate him. So this is great.
I've got them to come in to see if we can actually find anything that maybe Sumner County Sheriff's Office wasn't able to get. I've got a couple different organizations that are search and rescue qualified, that are 501c out of Texas. I've actually spoken to an individual who wants to be our spokesperson for all three of us, so that way there's no quote unquote mudslinging or anything like that that will speak for us as a unified front.
I think what Seth is doing here is absolutely fantastic. I think that the fact that he's coming together on behalf of everybody, I mean, kudos to Seth Rogers on this. I'm bringing in a search team from Texas is really great. And then whoever is locally driving out searchers like Narked Divers and CJ, y'all need to quit it. Everybody should be all hands on deck to find Sebastian. This is not about egos. This is not about you. This is about Sebastian. So I love that Seth is doing all of this. But Seth, just let me tell you, you do not need Chris Proudfoot's permission to do anything. You are doing a great job all on your own. And kudos to you.
I think that's a great development. I think that's
all this stuff that I've been working on, and I've sent it to him. I'm just waiting on him to get back with me.
Don't wait on him.
Be on the same plan with me to find Sebastian.
Don't wait on him, Seth. Just keep moving forward. You're doing great. You don't need him. You don't need him. I'm wondering if Chris Proudfoot just wants to know where Seth is searching and what he's up to. That's what I'm wondering, what that was all about. Because they didn't even go to the prayer vigil. I didn't see hide or hair of them. Maybe they attended virtually online, like so many of us did. But I didn't. They went shopping for motorcycles, and to me that says everything.
Now, I also saw Katie spoke on a program over the weekend, and one thing that stuck out to me, she said she's getting daily updates from law enforcement. Are you getting daily updates from law enforcement?
No, sir.
And is there a reason? Are they not they don't want to communicate with you, or is there?
They are communicating with my private investigators.
Okay, so I actually think that's a good thing. I don't see that as a bad thing, because the private investigators are professionals. This is what they do. They do searches for missing people. So I think it's okay, because then we don't have Seth trying to interpret what law enforcement said to his private investigators. Instead, he can focus on coordinating and organizing more people to get involved in searching for Sebastian, and the private investigators can work directly with law enforcement. I actually think that's smart.
That way there is no longer me having to take time out of my day while I'm sitting there searching, trying to gather resources and planning on the next action to take. My private investigators are speaking with them.
And how many PIs do you have on the case?
Currently, I have 2.
And
So that's Chloe and Heather. I just shared with you the statement from Heather, who was speaking on behalf of her and Chloe.
I'm hearing you talk about private investigators, search teams, canines trained. Is this something that is going to have to be financed some way?
I'm using the GoFundMe. I've been using everything that's coming in so that I can finance what I can.
So if you guys want to help Seth out and you feel like, you have a little bit of extra, consider doing the GoFundMe on behalf of him. And this interview is courtesy of Court TV and Vinny Politan.
And at this point, because it's been 2 months, do you feel like the support is still out there from the public? Is it dying down at all? Because we don't want it to die down.
Sebastian's army is strong.
Yeah, we are.
People want my son found. And every day I wake up, God has made sure that I have woken up. My goal is to find my son, and he knows it.
And y'all are Sebastian's army. That's you guys. That is you guys. You guys are Sebastian's army. And he's right. You guys are strong. All right. So that is the latest from Seth. Let me just let him finish it out. See?
Seth, appreciate you coming on tonight. I know you're extremely busy, but I wanted to make sure everyone knew about Light the Path for Sebastian on the 26th. It's going to be a big crowd. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And our thoughts are with you.
So let me grab this package. Okay, so this is the statement from CJ and Narked Divers. For those of you just that are joining me, there's a couple things that we went over. I'm just going to go over them very, very quickly because I already went over them. But just really quickly, first of all, looks like Sebastian was online, at least for school. Now, I don't know if this was supervised or not supervised, but it does, open up the possibility. I think we just need to consider the possibility that this could be some type of an abduction, or he may have been lured out of the house by somebody that was interacting with him online. And we know at Seth's house that, he didn't have to be, he was alone at night while Seth went to work. So did he have access to online? Did he interact with anybody? The other thing that we learned was that Chris Proudfoot has a rock solid alibi. There's our little man. I'm going to come back to his photo in just a second. This was kind of weird from Chris Proudfoot, just confirming that the dogs had a scent that led to the construction site. No signs or evidence, but then he thinks it's, I don't know. There's something just very cold about him. He does have a rock solid alibi, so I'm not saying he has anything to do with what happened to Sebastian, except for maybe he was egging Katie on the phone if Sebastian was feeling upset. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't. But I just think this is really cold and calculating. The idea that someone would hurt Sebastian and throw him into, I think he meant to say throw, he said threw him into wet, fresh paved driveway is funny. There's just something off about this guy. I don't, there's nothing funny about that to me. I don't get it. Did nobody proof this before he put this up? To bury someone in concrete would need at least 12 inches thick. And secondly, you would have to smooth out the concrete and finish it before it's dried. All of that is done while the concrete is poured and being set. Who's looking who knows this kind of, I guess, I don't know. I just think it's weird. It's just a weird statement. And then we have the information from Narked Divers. So this is from Chris Busby, posted this. Due to misinformation and safety concerns, me and my YouTube friends CJ and Narked Divers will no longer be searching for Sebastian Rogers. All leads from this point forward should be sent to the private investigators or to law enforcement. Sorry, but our safety comes first. This is absolutely crazy that anybody should have to be worried about their safety. Let me leave our little man's image up there, and I do have a lot of stuff to share with you. So I went back and re-looked at the interview with Nina Gomez, and it sounds like, Chris Proudfoot was not interested in parenting her children. So those would have been his stepchildren, because this was his fourth wife, from her prior marriage, or when she got pregnant. And when she got pregnant, he didn't want the baby. So she had to go live with her parents and basically go through her pregnancy without any support emotionally or financially from Chris Proudfoot, who is the father of this child. And now we're hearing that Chris Proudfoot wants custody of Faith. Well, I don't think that's right. I think Faith should just stay with her mom. And in light of everything that we've learned about Chris Proudfoot, I would think that supervised visitation would be most appropriate, in my opinion. So now let's consider how this custody dispute for Faith between Chris and Katie Proudfoot and Nina Gomez may have been affecting Sebastian. First of all, Chris Proudfoot admits that he was not coming home during the month of February. So this was leaving Katie doing all of the work and care alone for Sebastian with no emotional support from Chris Proudfoot. So let's add that stress between Chris and Katie Proudfoot in their marriage. And it's always harder to have a special needs kid. And the fact that they were willing to give up custody of Sebastian to Seth Rogers. And, I'm not saying anything negative about Seth Rogers. I'm just saying this would have been stressful for Sebastian, because moving is stressful for anyone. But when you have autism, change is even harder. So let's just consider that at the same time that Chris and Katie are trying to get custody of Faith, they're willing to give up Sebastian. And it makes me wonder, like, how was Sebastian feeling about this? Because, young people internalize things differently. They always think stuff is their fault. So did he feel like he was being given up or being given away by Katie to make room for Chris Proudfoot, who, he did this manipulation thing with Nina when she decided, you know what, I'm keeping my baby. I'm having my baby. And she went to go live with her parents, and he just, refused to have anything to do with her, refused to help. Is he doing something like that, similar to Katie? If she would not give up custody of Sebastian, he just wasn't going to come home. Was he doing something similar like that to Katie Proudfoot? So it just makes me wonder what was going on in the house between Sebastian and Katie, between Sebastian and Chris Proudfoot, and between Katie and Chris Proudfoot. Now, I know Seth Rogers wanted Sebastian, so this doesn't have anything to do with him wanting his son, but I'm just wondering how all of this would have made Sebastian feel, because basically they were giving him up, giving him away. Did he feel unloved? Did Sebastian feel like Katie was choosing Chris Proudfoot over him, or choosing Faith over him? And I certainly don't feel like Sebastian was a priority for Katie. I just don't, because she left the house and went camping while he was missing. The fact that she's, not been out there searching, maybe law enforcement has told her not to search, but it just doesn't feel like he's a priority. That if they had the time and energy to go shopping for bikes, and I've heard people say, yeah, they're going to do a bike rally. I haven't seen any notification that there's a bike rally. They said, oh, they're going to do that in 2 weeks. I'm like, well, he could be found within the next 2 weeks. Like, why do you think he's not going to be found in the next 2 weeks? Do you know something that we don't know? I'm just asking questions. So I certainly don't feel like Sebastian was a priority for Katie. I don't feel like he's a priority now. And then she said, because what did she tell us? Or Nancy Grace, she said to Nancy Grace, I'm going to, quote, accompany my husband back to work. But Chris Proudfoot isn't working, or wasn't at that point. And Katie wasn't out looking for Sebastian. They're out shopping for motorcycles while searchers are looking for Sebastian. So I don't understand this choice. What are Katie's priorities? Because it certainly doesn't feel like they are Sebastian. And if we are all picking up on this, outsiders looking in, what did Sebastian feel like living with Katie and Chris Proudfoot, living with a stepfather who maybe was saying, I'm not coming home unless you give up Sebastian to Seth. And, Katie agreeing to it, because we know from Seth that he was taking Sebastian because Chris Proudfoot wanted to try to, quote, make it not quote, but try to make a go of the marriage with Katie. They were having trouble. So how did this make Sebastian feel? And would this have made him more vulnerable to a predator online? Was he talking about this to anyone online? Was he more vulnerable to running away? Did something occur in the house that night, some type of argument or altercation occur in the house that night that sent Sebastian out the door barefoot, without a coat, without a cell phone, and with a key chain with no keys on it and just a flashlight? We know Chris Proudfoot is perfectly capable of manipulating people because, according to Nina, he tried to manipulate Nina into terminating her pregnancy and then showed up to punish her because she didn't want to go along with her. He left her and then showed up at the hospital to yell at her after she had faith. So who does something like that? Chris Proudfoot kind of reminds me a little bit of Adam Montgomery. Not that he did anything to like what Adam did, but just I think Adam just really only wanted Harmony for the money, and so that her mother couldn't have her, or because so the foster family couldn't have her. But it certainly wasn't because he truly loved his daughter. And I really, have concerns. Even though Chris Proudfoot has an alibi, he's been cleared. I just have concerns. I would not want this to be the step parent of or the parent. So in my opinion, I hope the judge leaves faith with Nina. Unfortunately, step parents are disproportionately involved in not treating partners well, and they are, especially if they're narcissistic. And autistic children are more vulnerable to this, especially being victimized by adults who are narcissistic. Now, I'm not diagnosing Chris Proudfoot. I am using narcissistic as an adjective, but narcissistic people do not view other people anymore as anything more than objects, just basically chess pieces or mirror pieces almost to reflect back to them how fantastic they are. And I talked to you guys not the last live stream, but the one before, about coercive control. And what I'm hearing in Nina's story is just how Chris Proudfoot left her when she was pregnant and refused to end this. And then he was punishing her for not doing what he wanted, which was ending this, right? And I'm just wondering if he did something similar, something just as manipulative to Katie. Why was this why he wasn't coming home for the whole month of February? Because let's face it, he only was 3 hours and 37 minutes, according to him, door to door. So did he leave Katie alone with Sebastian and remain at work intentionally to punish Katie if she didn't do what he wanted in relation to Sebastian? And did something boil over that night? Let me check in with chat. I just kind of want to know what you guys are thinking about all of this. But Chris Proudfoot does have a rock solid alibi. So now we have the private investigators have confirmed he was at work and that he was in his camper that night, and he was at work at 5:15 in the morning. So they have confirmed that. So they've ruled Chris Proudfoot out. Seth Rogers also has been ruled out. He was working at the Davidson prison overnight. So he would have been seen on security cameras going into the prison and leaving the prison. So he was there working overnight. And then he would have been in front of his coworkers and prisoners. So his alibi is very rock solid also. Let me check in with chat. I want to know what you guys are thinking on all of this. Let me back up a little bit. I'm a little behind on chat. Let's see. Kmar says, Katie could be one of those women that would do anything for her man. Yeah, I'm wondering too. And I'm wondering if she is like that. And it seems like she is. She left her house with Sebastian missing to accompany her husband to work. What? What? Nobody is looking at that thinking, if I were the mother, that's what I would. Nobody is looking at that. Like, all of us are looking at that going, that doesn't make any sense. That's absolutely bonkers. So, I think you might be onto something. And when I say bonkers, I'm not saying she is bonkers. I'm just saying the behavior is bonkers. I'm using it as an adjective. Regina says, I agree. Marina says, I would not care if I was told not to search. I'm going. Exactly. I would too. Gina says she did not have to search. She could have just handed out flyers. Yeah. And organized. Look at all the organizing that Seth has done. He got a GoFundMe together. He raised money. He decided how he was going to best apportion out that money. I know that he got some pushback because he didn't want to pay for a billboard, but he only has a limited amount of money and 2 private investigators. And he had another pair before this, and search and rescue people. This stuff adds up. Getting a spokesperson, this all adds up. So I feel like, he's spending the money as to the, in the best way that he knows how to find his son, and he's looking for him. And what are Chris and Katie Proudfoot doing while he's doing all this and organizing this Light the Path event tomorrow, again, to bring attention to the fact that Sebastian is missing? They went shopping for motorcycles, and y'all can tell me whatever excuse you want to give me why that was okay. I don't think it, I don't, if you have there's something wrong. There is something wrong. So Karen says, yes, it's super weird. Let me know what you think. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm like too emotional about this. Robert, let's see. Karen says, yes, that was super weird, like a subconscious slip of the tongue. Amelia says, didn't Sebastian tell his father that he did not like Chris? If correct, that speaks volumes. I have not found anything independent. And maybe that Seth has said this, because I haven't seen every interview that Seth has done. So he may have said that, Amelia, and I just didn't see that interview. I try to catch him when he's on, but Seth has done hey, Regina, Seth has done such a great job of getting Sebastian's name and image out there. This case is international now. And a lot of it is because Seth has gone on every YouTuber's channel that he can to raise awareness for this little man. Gail says, Chris Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot don't need to have any children. They're not stable parents. Yeah, I don't think they have their priorities right. And I'm just wondering if Chris Proudfoot's bid for Faith, how did that make Sebastian feel? So Katie's giving Sebastian over to Seth and taking on and bringing Faith into the house. And were they, we know something happened to Sebastian. I'm watching my words, an essay issue that Katie said he was receiving some counseling for, and Seth didn't think he was. But it just makes me wonder. And then Chris Proudfoot decided that just because of that, therefore that made Sebastian a risk to Faith if he was to get custody. I mean, I don't know. This is absolutely crazy. It doesn't feel like they have their priorities straight. And I'm just wondering, did Sebastian feel like he had anybody he could turn to in Tennessee when he was feeling upset? Did he try to go to the school that night? Did he try to get to the school to maybe talk to a teacher or a classmate and just get lost? Marta thinks that Chris Proudfoot is manipulating Katie Proudfoot. Yeah, in my opinion, this is only my opinion, and my chat and I are just sharing our opinions, and opinions are not facts. But in my opinion, just listening to what Nina Gomez said was very eye-opening, because to me that does, and you guys probably have encountered somebody like this in your own life, where you've had somebody who's tried to manipulate you by withholding, right? Affection, withholding, I'm not going to come home, withholding money, just trying to control you. And we know he did this with Nina. And all Nina wanted to do was have her baby. That's all she wanted to do. That was her big crime. And she had to go live with her parents to do that. He withheld money. He withheld himself. He wouldn't have anything to do with her. He was trying to control her. So I would, the best evidence of future behavior is past behavior. I think we can look at his relationship with Nina and wonder if this same scenario, because he told Nancy Grace, I didn't come home for the month of February. Why? We've all wondered why. And I wonder if he was doing the same manipulative withholding thing. Maybe he was withholding finances from Katie also. We don't know what was going on behind the scene. But Marta, I think it's, I'm not saying it happened. This is just my opinion, so don't come for me. But this is how I feel. Weissel says, I don't know if it's true, but someone said Chris Proudfoot had a driveway poured. Maybe that's why he had Facebook posts about cement. Who knows? Causes people to make up so much. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But he does have a rock solid alibi. And Jazz is welcoming everybody into the chat. Welcome. If you haven't subscribed, please do like, share, and leave a comment. This video was demonetized, so consider sharing it on your socials. Marina says, when I woke him up is a term more to their area lingo so to speak, in Tennessee. Thank you for sharing that. Hey, Arlene. Arlene says apparently they were having marital problems and Chris Proudfoot wanted Sebastian to go to live with Seth. Chris Proudfoot was trying to get Katie Proudfoot to agree after he talked to Seth. Sorry, I have a really bad sore throat, so I am sipping water. But so Chris Proudfoot wanted Sebastian to go live with Seth. And Chris Proudfoot was trying to get Katie Proudfoot on board. And I'm wondering what he was doing to accomplish this. Was he withholding? He wasn't coming home for the month of February. So withholding affection, withholding emotional support, just withholding, and maybe financial. Maybe he refused to contribute to the household in addition to that. Who knows? I'm not saying he did or he didn't. I'm just saying it's based on what Nina has told us. I think it's worth considering. So yeah, I think you're right. Pipsqueak said, I think she placed him in a residential type home because she couldn't handle his behavior and didn't want CPS. I think if that had happened, Pipsqueak, I wish that was what happened. I do. And I hope I'm wrong and I hope you're right. But I think if that had happened with all of the social media pressure bearing down on them, with all of the pressure from Sebastian's army, which is all of you guys, we are Sebastian's army. But with all of us out here looking for him, I think she would have produced him by now. But I hope I'm wrong and I hope you're right. Magnetic Janet says, so scary to even think about living with Chris. Yeah, I think so too. I think she would have had she has her hands full. But she has chosen him over Sebastian. I'm leaving my house. I want to accompany my husband to work. He wasn't going to work. I want to know where they're getting this money for the motorcycles. Are they expecting some kind of big insurance payment to come in? Like, why? If you aren't working, where are you getting money to go motorcycle shopping? I don't like, where are you getting money to buy Harley Davidsons if you don't have money? RN54 says, we've already heard he's flirtatious. She wants to watch his behavior, so she's staying in Memphis. Yeah, again, you're right, and choosing him over Sebastian, even when Sebastian is missing. So that's why I said to you, Seth Rogers, if you are listening to this broadcast, don't wait for them to approve anything that you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. You're using the money that people have donated to you in a wise manner. Nobody expects you to be perfect while you're going through all of this. Just keep doing what you're doing. Thanks, Joanne. Harley 1869 says, why are all the searchers? Yeah, I don't know. They're all leaving. I don't get it. Like, who is bothering CJ and Narked? What? That's crazy. Why would anybody bother them? They've done nothing but try to help. So who is trying to, and United Cajun Navy kept saying that they were having the same problems. Everybody needs to come together and all get behind this search effort to find Sebastian. Cecilia says, Karen Powers did hear that when I woke him up for school, he was gone. Yeah, and that, just a lot of questions around that, you guys. Thank you for the green hearts for Sebastian. This is our head mod, 6 cents Amelia. This is our other head mod. And Jazz, and our other head mod is Jane. I don't see her in the chat. Anita said, someone does not want him found. Yeah, I'm like wondering the same thing. Somebody does not want him found. Why? Why don't they want him found? Why go out and shop for motorcycles when you have a child missing? Where are you expecting the money? Harley Davidsons are not cheap. Where are you expecting this money to come from? I hope there's not an insurance policy on Sebastian. I truly do. Maria says, I heard it. Robert Hill makes her look more I heard it makes her look more suspicious. Please give me a thumb. Oh yeah, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. My analytics show me that 50% of the people who watch my channel are not subscribed. Please help a girl out. Subscribe. these videos get demonetized. This one's demonetized right now. And it's not just that demonetized is bad. What it means also is that the algorithm doesn't push it out, because if they can't make money off of it, they're not going to push the video out. So I need your help too by sharing it on socials. Eileen said, Sebastian told Seth that he didn't like it at home, and whenever Seth had him, he would complain that he didn't want to go home and wanted to stay with him, but never would tell him why. And I'm wondering if Sebastian felt some shame. Imagine hearing Chris Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot interacting with each other, and how I think Chris Proudfoot is really cold. There's something, let me just show you this. I mean, this is ice cold. Talking about wet, fresh paved cement is funny. It just feels cold. There's something off about this guy. So imagine how uncomfortable you would feel if you're a special needs little man. Let me get his picture back up, because I want to keep Sebastian out there. If you're a special needs little man and you feel like you have nobody because your mother is siding with this guy, and they're going to have you go live with your father, and even if Sebastian wanted to live with him, he still would have felt weird. I think it would have made him feel uncomfortable to hear Katie and Chris talking about getting Faith and how they're going to, get custody of Faith and get her away from Nina, and they're going to give Sebastian up. And Chris Proudfoot's the puppet master. He's pulling all the strings. I feel so badly for Sebastian. I really do. I really do. I really do. Janet says, who leaves your child home when they're missing and goes to another state? Nobody. Nobody except for Katie and Chris Proudfoot. Nobody does that. I love his smile too, Charlie. He's just a beautiful, beautiful, precious, special needs, lovely. And this is Autism Awareness Month, you guys. We need to find Sebastian. Ron says they put him in an institution. I hope you're right, and I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope you're right, and I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong about this, but I just really feel like if he was there, they would have produced him by now. If he was in an institution, I think that Katie and Chris Proudfoot are under so much scrutiny and so much pressure that they would have produced him right by now. Regina said, what if CPS was involved and Chris Proudfoot was ordered to stay away from Sebastian, and that was the reason Chris Proudfoot had not been home? Wow, that would certainly be a motive. I just wonder what it was like in the house for Sebastian, knowing that his mother was willing to give him up and choose Chris Proudfoot over him. And autistic people don't like change. This special needs teenager would not have liked change, even if he wanted to go live with Seth. And Seth said he did. I believe it. But he still would have been uncomfortable with the change. It still would have been stressful for any of us to move across the country like that. Would be stressful. But for someone with autism, it would be even more stressful, in my opinion. So, yeah, it could be. It could be something more was going in the house, and maybe that's what they're hiding. I don't know what to think, you guys. I really don't. Arlene says, how could she wake him up for school if he wasn't there to wake up? Storytelling, I don't know. Wise Gal said, I still wonder why Katie Proudfoot said, I drove to look, drove back, and he already, then Chris coughs. Yeah, I saw that weird coughing thing that Chris does. Like he just wanted her to stop, or she slipped up. It almost feels like those two concocted up a script together. So was this young man, was he interacting with anybody online? I mean, Katie says he wasn't online, but this is online. This is online, right? Here's the receipts. He got a FFA green hand degree from the Beach FFA chapter. This is December of 2023. So if he was feeling alienated by Katie and Chris and felt like his mother was giving him up to go live with Seth, even though he wanted to be with Seth, but still felt like his mother was giving up, and they were going to take in custody of Faith and move him out, move her in. How did that make him feel? Did he feel like he had anybody to turn to? Was it somebody at the school, and was he trying to get to the school that night? Or did he say, was there some kind of altercation while Katie and Chris were on the phone together, and he said, I'm running away, or just got upset and ran out the door, and she got mad. Maybe she was being egged on and just locked that door behind him. I don't know. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just, what if? Yeah, please don't forget to like the video, spread the Sebastian love. This is the Facebook group link. If you guys, I'll be streaming that green light raise awareness for Sebastian tomorrow at 7:30. I'll be streaming that into that room. Sergeant said, is CPS now involved in this case? Not to my knowledge. Not that I've heard. Not to my knowledge. Good question. Carol Mary says, I don't see that Chris and Katie are helping Seth in any way. That was just to get him on their side so they could let him know what's going on in the investigation. That's my opinion. I'm wondering too, and I'm wondering why. Because Chris Proudfoot has an alibi. It's been confirmed by Seth's private investigator. She confirmed he was at work at 5:15 that morning. He was in the camper overnight. She confirmed it. So why concoct a story? Unless it's, what some people have been wondering is that, something went wrong. Chris Proudfoot knows about it. I don't know. Was there some kind of argument or altercation in the house that night and Sebastian ran out the door? Something happened because he didn't evaporate out of the house. Nobody disappears from inside their own house with no shoes, no coat, no cell phone. Something went horribly wrong. Perry says, would have found him by now. The story is everywhere. I think so too. I think that if he was in an institution somewhere, I think they would have produced him. But here's proof that he did have access to online stuff. Maybe this was supervised, but it just makes me wonder if he was feeling, let me put this back on his photo too. If he was feeling really badly, and I just can't get past this, I'm sorry, this is like one cold, calculating person to post this online and think this is okay and think that's a normal thing to post is weird. It's just weird. In one interview, did Katie Proudfoot not state that every time Sebastian got mad, he ran to the school? In the morning, she said he was missing. She drove to the school to hunt for him. Yeah, I think that's maybe what happened. If he had anybody to turn to, it would have maybe been a teacher or somebody at the school. If he didn't feel like he had anybody in the house, and I don't think he did. Look at how Katie has behaved since he went missing. I'm going to accompany my husband. I'm shopping for Harley Davidsons, but I can't be bothered to, what did that make him feel like? What if he did go home? There's nobody there to even let him in if he did show up. So how did he feel in that house, knowing that Chris Proudfoot wanted to give him to Seth and that Katie and Chris together were going to try to adopt Faith? So he's being, in his mind, a child. This is a teenager. He's being replaced. Kids always think it's their fault. If you guys had a divorce and it was either between you and your spouse, or maybe you were a child and your parents got divorced, or maybe you're a grandparent and you witnessed it, in one of your kids, kids always internalize it. They always think that it's their fault. So did Sebastian feel like this was his fault? Ray says, yeah, Chris like Adam and Katie like Letitia. Letitia Stock. James thinks that if that was the case, the facility would have contacted law enforcement. They are mandated reporters. Yeah. If a facility had custody of Sebastian, then they would have to report that. They would be legally obligated to report that. You're right, James. Sherry says, Chris and Katie definitely don't deserve to get custody of Faith. I agree. I think Faith should stay exactly where she is. I hope a judge looks at all of this. Thank you so much for your super sticker, Njaz. Thank you for the $10. I really, really appreciate it. I really do. And thank you so much for your super sticker. Valerie wants to know, what if Chris left his... Oh, lost the comment. What if Chris left his cell phone in the camper and drove home during the time Sebastian went missing? Well, he was at work at 5:15 in the morning. That's why I wanted to share the receipts from you. So they confirmed that he was in the camper overnight and that he was at work at 5:15 in the morning. So seems like that's a pretty rock solid, like, not if it's a sanctuary. But if it's an institution, I think was the question. I wish I'm like, I hope you guys are right, and I hope I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong on this, but I really feel like if you know law enforcement is looking for somebody, there's some kind of a custody issue or something like that, you have to let law enforcement know. And TBI and FBI are involved in this, so I don't think anybody would want to mess with that. Gina says he told the teacher about the belt incident, and supposedly from Chris Proudfoot, CPS told Sebastian not to be lying. Wow. The guy who, I don't even know what to say. I just really wonder what it would have been like for Sebastian to be in that house. We've already seen that Katie is not strong enough to even advocate for him when he's disappeared. Was she strong enough to be there for him when Chris Proudfoot is doing whatever master manipulation that he's doing, that I believe he did to Nina Gomez, withholding financially, withholding emotionally, not coming around her, forcing her to go live with her parents, with her two other little ones. So with Katie, we know Chris wasn't coming home for the whole month of February. Was he trying to force Katie to bend to his will also? And Katie, was she just not a very strong person? Why is she leaving the house to go accompany her husband? I'm sorry, Katie, I'm sorry, but to me that is just not forgivable. I'm really sorry, but Sebastian deserves better. He deserves better. Richard says Mississippi sure does extradite on those crimes. Yeah, they do. I've seen a couple people worried that Mississippi, if it's not another country, it's just another state. And this is now, FBI is now involved. TBI is involved. So I don't think she's there for that. I don't know. I think she's, she just ran away. Why? I don't know. Tell me why you think she ran away. Because to me, it feels like she abandoned him. He's missing. And it just makes me wonder if she was also emotionally abandoning him in the house. Was he feeling like they're going to give me to my dad and they're going to replace me? Because that's how young people think. They're going to replace me with Faith. So I'm being replaced. Even if he wanted to go with Seth, it still would have been hard to leave his school, his teachers, his community, his neighborhood. Autistic people don't like change. This would have been a very, and moving is stressful for anyone. And then you're hearing your mom talking to Chris Proudfoot. Was Chris saying to her, you got to give him to Seth, or I'm not coming home. You got to give him to Seth, or I'm not going to help pay the mortgage payment. I'm going to withhold finances from you. I mean, what was really going on? We may never know what's going on in Tennessee. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. Alicia says, Marina, there are legal documents in Cali as to what happened to Sebastian. It's not so as it's not so. They say it occurred that Katie and Chris's apartment, and the 13-year-old was a neighbor's kid. And and I want to be really clear that if something like that happens, and and she did say she got him counseling for that. That is, when you have a child that has special needs, you may not have a wide variety of options of people who will play with your child. Should they have been checking on them? Yes, but was that completely her fault? No, I don't think that was. But I do think leaving town while he's missing is her fault. Katie, that's on you. That is 100% on you. You're going to have to live with that. You're going to have to live with that choice. You're going to live with that choice. That's your choice. You made your choice. You're going to have to live with that. You're going to have to own that decision. And whatever happened in the house, is that the fact that you were willing to give Sebastian up at Chris Proudfoot's urging to Seth Rogers, and not that, and Seth, I'm sure, loves him, but the fact that you were willing to choose Chris Proudfoot over Sebastian, that's on you. That's on you, in my opinion. It's my opinion and my opinion only. Do not make statements that are theories and not facts. Bob, I made it very clear that everything I'm sharing is my opinion. Everything the chat is sharing is my opinion. If you don't want to discuss the case, you don't have to. You don't have to. But we're gonna talk about it. That's why we're here. We're here to talk about it. Yeah, please like, share, and subscribe. Sherry says that means nothing. FBI can get them from any state if it comes down. Exactly. You're right, Half Pint. I agree. Eileen says, I know, right? They won't hide him where the world is looking for him. No, I think that if an institution had him, if an institution had Sebastian, they would legally be required to notify law enforcement. So I don't think that's happening. Joanne says, I mean, come on. I mean, to come out saying it was years ago to pick in Harley shop. Yeah, that picture in the Harley shop is, if that's the case, you're wearing your missing kid from supposedly years ago. Right, exactly. I've heard all kinds of excuses as to why that picture came out. Let's just call a spade a spade. Chris and Katie Proudfoot were out shopping for Harley Davidsons. She went camping, reminds me of Chris and Roberta Laundry. And then we have this weird, bizarro statement from Chris Proudfoot. I'm sorry, this is just, come on. That is ice cold. Absolutely ice cold. It's too funny. That's what he says. It's funny. And then he tells exactly how to do it. I'm not saying he did it, but ew, just, I mean, like, the fact that he didn't see a problem with writing like that, like maybe this might not be okay. And then who is getting all these people, who is bothering all of the searchers that they feel like they have to stand down and stop searching for safety concerns? Who is harassing them? Perry saying, I'm wondering if he ever left. I think he's under the house, and that's why they aren't there. When the heat dies down, they will move him. I don't think so. I think it's possible with the construction site that he may be in one of those. We heard of a kid that crawled up a chimney. He wasn't found for a while. I think having the dogs come in, Seth Rogers is hiring really skilled dogs to come in and search. And I think having them come in and just re-canvas and search again is a really great idea. Kids have survived. Autistic kids have survived in the wilderness for longer than this. So I am still hoping for a good outcome. Mississippi won't send them back to Tennessee. I've never heard of that. No, you've never heard of it, because they will. They can extradite. There might be like a hearing if they refuse to come back, but the judge is going to say, you're going. So just going to let them there. Hey, Claudia, good to see you. Amelia says 49% of child abductions are committed by a relative or a family friend. 27% of child abductions are committed by an acquaintance of the child and or the family. And that's why I thank you so much for sharing those important statistics. That's why I wanted to show you this, because he was online. He was online. Maybe Katie forgot. I don't know. He was online. She said he played computer games, or he played games, but not on the computer. But he was online. Look at this. He was doing schoolwork online. So, he's a smart kid. We know he played chess. We know he's high functioning autistic. So even if she didn't think he was online, was he still able to get online unbeknownst to her? Or was he able to get online with Seth? Was he feeling upset about what was going on with Chris Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot? What was going on between those two? And the fact that he's being given up and going to Seth's house, even though I know he loves Seth and probably was okay to go with Seth, but the feeling of having your mom give you away is still not going to be a good feeling. Did he turn to someone online? I mean, I think it's at least worth considering the possibility that that could have happened in light of this certificate. Because the thing that, the whole thing of he was never online, he was. Richard says that only proves they gave a different timeline. Yeah, that's true also. That's a good point, Richard. We're all working from Katie's timeline. Yeah. Perry says a neighbor said he was there Sunday night at 9 p.m. He was at home. Thank you for sharing that, Perry. If you have a source on that, I would love to get it. Thanks, Valerie. Casey says, in my opinion, you do amazing and responsible job. Oh, thank you, Casey. Thank you so much. That's really kind of you. It means a lot. I really do. This is my passion project. And after this, I'm going to do Riley's Strain right after this. So when we're done here, I'm not saying we're done here, but when we're done here, I'm going to check in on, I'm going to do a update because there's a lot of new updates in the Riley Strain case. Very, very suspicious stuff with the frat brothers. Bob says, what if the picture of the bike shopping was actually taken? Well, take a look at it yourself and see what you think. I guess it's possible somebody could have photoshopped the photo. I don't know. To me, it looks real. Marina says, we were talking about the Minecraft. If you have Wi-Fi, you can be online. So they say that because he said he didn't use it like that. Right. So maybe, but he was online. Amelia says 24% of child abductions are committed by strangers. Most abductions occur at home or within a quarter mile of the house. Wow. Half Pint says they are wearing missing Sebastian shirts in that picture. Yeah, you just look at the shirts. Let's just be real. They went shopping for Harley Davidsons while Chris Proudfoot's, where are they getting the money? How much is a Harley Davidson, you guys? I just want to know. I'm just going to look it up. Let me look it up. I just want to know. Okay. This is Harley Davidson. Let's see if this says it. Can you guys see that? Nope. Let me take this down. I'm going to take our little man down for a second. Let me put this up instead. Okay, so let's see how much are one of these bikes. Does this say? Oh my gosh, you can get the cheapest one is starting at $24,999, so $25,000. So that's starting at, and then going up to $44,000. But again, that's starting at. So that's not cheap. Where are they getting the money for bikes? Where are they getting the money for bikes? I just want to know where's the money? Are they expecting an insurance payout? Are they that cold in calculating? I don't know. Does he have some money squirreled away? Addie says, what time did Chris Proudfoot leave Memphis and what time did he arrive in Hendersonville on Monday? We don't know. We just know that he was at work at 5:15 a.m. that morning, according to the private investigator, Heather. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just back up the chat. You guys can watch it. Thanks for the green hearts for Sebastian, Amelia. Karen says, maybe Chris, Uncle D was I don't know. I think I don't know what to think. I really wonder if there's just so much tension in the house, and this little man was feeling so awful that he just felt like he was being given away, and just something occurred that night with Chris and Katie Proudfoot while they were on the phone, and he ran out and she locked the door behind him, or just she heard the thud and just let him go, and didn't look for him, and just thought, well, he won't go far. He doesn't run away. And maybe Chris was on the other line going, yeah, just let him take his lumps. Who cares? Who knows? I'm just speculating. Suzanne says somebody could have picked up Chris Proudfoot and taken him to the house. I don't know. They said he was at work at 5:15 that morning. The PIs said they cleared him. This is Seth's PIs. Jody said, I agree with you on Sebastian not evaporating out of the house. Again, after seeing Katie Proudfoot film and torment Nina and Faith at the airport, can you imagine the emotional alienation from Sebastian? Oh, I haven't seen that, Jody. I'm going to have to look that footage up. That sounds awful. That sounds absolutely awful. If anybody has a link to that, please drop it in the chat. I want to look at that. Alicia says, Katie was a tech expert at the Navy. She had Wi-Fi cut off at the source in their home. Eyes Wide Open said it could be possible that Chris was working with the police because he was trying to get Katie to fess up. Just a thought, now that you're saying that he was at the job site. Wow. Before I forgot to, let me just thank you for your super thanks, you guys. This is for the last few weeks. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you guys. Let me take this down for a second. I just wanted to make sure I got the bottom of that. So thank you to all of you. And thank you to our VIP, Jane J. And to our producers, Energy Shots, George Brown, and Jazz, and for Amber. And to all of our channel members, if you would like to become a channel member of Reporter Room, just hit the join button. It's next to the subscribe button. But honestly, even if you just subscribe, that helps me out so much. I would really appreciate it. Thank you to all of our channel members. You allow me to make live streams and create videos like this. I did spend all day yesterday researching it, and this morning researching it before I came live with you on this, and also the Riley strain, which I'm going to do right after this. So thank you for allowing me to do this, especially when videos like this are demonetized the majority of the time. So for anybody who says out there, oh my gosh, YouTubers, they, we get our videos demonetized all the time when we're doing stuff like that, stuff like this. So, please don't jump to that conclusion. We should want all hands on deck. If it's a TikToker, if it's a social media person, if it's a YouTuber, we should want all hands on deck to find Sebastian. We should want all the searchers to feel safe. There's no way that Narked Divers should have been run out of this search. CJ and Narked Divers should not have been run out of the search for Sebastian. They should have felt safe and comfortable to do that. So anyway, on that note, I'm going right into a Riley strain video right after that. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you for joining me. And I will see you in literally 2 minutes on another live stream with Riley strain updates. We're going to talk about the frat brothers. And I have quite a bit of information to share on that one as well.